Very good morning to one and all present over here. I, Dr. Preeti Patel, I welcome you all in this dialogue series. So today we are having among us Professor Anjana Sharma. In the behalf of whole ISFCP family, I welcome you, ma'am. As per introduction, Professor Anjana Sharma having more than 15 years of academic experience and 2-year industrial experience. She has completed her PhD in 2017 from AKTU, Lucknow. Her area of interest is molecular modeling and synthetic chemistry. She has many publications in reputed national and international journals, and she has awarded with 2 patents for their innovation. So today, ma'am going to deliver lecture on manuscript writing and what type of points should we keep in mind during the writing of manuscript. So I request to ma'am, please start your talk. Please, ma'am.
Thank you, Preeti ma'am. So, shall I share my screen, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Please. So just please share the screen. So good morning, everyone. On behalf of ISF College of Pharmacy, I welcome Dr. Anjana Sharma. She is a very dedicated and young scientist and working in the strong field of the pharmaceutical chemistry. Today, she has selected the topic how to write a manuscript. So this is not only any specific branch. This is very important and required to the all PG student as well as the PhD student. So first of all, I am thankful for accepting our invitation and to deliver a lecture, and I hope that this lecture will be the very useful to the each and every scientist. And I know that this dialogue series, the purpose behind of this dialogue series to connect the some of the young dynamic peoples from the pharmaceutical sciences, industry, academia as well as the research to provide the pure information to the scientists so that we can do the work in a systematic order. So again, I am thankful to the IQAC coordinator Dr. Siddharth Mayan for running this series, and I am also thankful to today's speaker Dr. Anjana ji for accepting the invitation, and you have given your very important and precious time. So thanks to all, and this lecture it will be just after the recording. It will be available on the YouTube channel. So person they can be want to ask any question, you can send on the chat box. Our team will be there connect to you with your answer. So thank you very much, and over to Dr. Anjana ji.
Thank you, sir. So, starting with it, that I am very highly thankful to the management and the director, sir, the IQAC coordinator, and Preeti ma'am for giving me the opportunity to speak on the given topic. So I'm highly thankful to them. So today the topic is the basics of manuscript writing. So the need of the
Ma'am,
manuscript. Yes, ma'am.
ma'am, your presentation is not visible actually.
Not visible. Just a
Yes, ma'am.
moment, sir.
Ma'am, please reopen it.
Okay. Is it now visible, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
So the basics for the manuscript writing. So this is the very preliminary thing for the young researchers as well as for the we can say the students as well as the faculty members. So what the first question comes in our mind that why do we need to publish your research work? Obviously to disseminate among your peers a new concept which we have uh, designed or discovered in the lab or wherever it is, or findings from your research work or advances in technology. It gives visibility among other researchers in the field. It facilitates the advancement of knowledge and its application for the betterment of society. So this publishing in highly reputed journal, which will provide the high credibility to the researcher as it is validated by a peer-reviewed process for scientific reliability. This will enhance the application potential of the research output. Now, next question arises, when should you go for the publication? So ideally, before starting your experimental work, first plan your manuscript along with the planning of the work. So discuss everything about the work and the potential output with all the stakeholders, your potential co-authors. Then be triply sure about the system, methods, analysis, etc. before you start your work, taking the help from the potential co-authors. And without any doubt, discuss openly about the authorship, contributions expected, record and share all the discussion points with them, which is very mandatory before starting your experimental work, because that will provide you the base to design the experimental work in a proper way. Now, before writing it, think about, okay, why should you go for this publication? So really, is it a new and interesting thing of your topic, or is it a current new hot topic? Have you provided the solution to some difficult problems? And are you ready to publish at this point? Your work is ready, or some other the studies are required for that. So be sure about it. Okay, now my work is ready to publish it. So after these all things that we have done all the works in the research work, all the things is completed. Now the final thing has been arrived, that choosing a journal. Now match the journal scope with your work. Now choosing the journal, it should be peer reviewed and it should be indexed in widely accepted forums like the Scopus Index, PubMed, SCI, or Web of Science. Make it sure that is not predatory. So predatory journals, they are illegitimate publication process are there, which is only for the money making purpose, lacks basic publication standards, lack of sound peer review practices, and poor publication ethics. That is the primary thing which you have to keep in your mind. Then the focus where must be there. You must have the targeted readers who the particular journal like pharmaceutical journals is there or chemistry journals is there. It should be in a specific field. So targeted readers are relevant to the work. So that is
Ma'am,
also the most important. Yes, ma'am.
your slides are not moving.
Not moving.
Yes, it is only front. Yes, it is okay, ma'am.
Okay. Because I have increased the size. Now is it okay, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. Okay.
So the targeted readers or relevant to the work must be there. It should be easily accessible to many people, many researchers. So it should be open access, and the impact factor must be there for the before choosing before choosing a journal, final journal, to in which you are going to communicate your work. General guidelines for writing the manuscript: the use as less you can the words you can use, but with the more clarity. The clarity must be there, but use of less word doesn't mean that you are compromising with the information. So the complete information must be provided. Use the direct phrase and avoid the passive voice. Avoid monotony, and the uses of the language refining software like Grammarly is there. So you can use these softwares. Now, what should be the composition of the manuscript? Generally, it varies from journal to journal, but mainly these compositions are there which we have to adhere for these composition. The title, authors and their affiliations, keywords, abstract, introduction, then methodology, and in methodology materials and methods are there, results and discussion, summary or conclusion, references, then acknowledgement, author's contribution, conflict of interest is there. So this is a composition which is required for a manuscript. Now, the most predominant, okay, what is it? What should be the title of the page, which will create the interest of the researcher? So the your paper reading depends mostly on the title, name of the title. So it should be brief, but it should be clear. New finding or information from the study. There should not be abbreviations in the title, and there should be the running title. Keywords must be there in the title page. So selecting or deciding the title page, read your manuscript properly and find out whether read it twice or thrice, what could be the better title for this manuscript. So the selection of the title is the most important criteria. Keywords. Keywords, they are the important words representing the focus of the manuscript, which could help the search engines finding the relevant papers, enhances to reach the among the scientific community, and it brings the visibility also. So the selection, the 5 to 6 keywords are required minimum, or the maximum it could be there. So it should not be exceeded more. Then abstract. Abstract is written to capture the purpose. The approach is there, findings and conclusion clearly. So it should be easy to comprehend and appreciate stand alone. The abstract should be appreciable by the readers even outside your peer group. So the abstract will explain all the things which you have done in your research work, and it contains all the keywords. Then comes the introduction. Introduction is the where you have to develop the hypothesis or purpose of the study. It will create the interest of the readers or for the researchers. So there will be the logical sequence of facts leading to the purpose of the study. There must be the clarity of thoughts for reader to appreciate. So this is the selling point of the story. The introduction is the base for your story. Then comes the material and methods. So your work, the established work, been carried out with reference to what, how, and why. So these work, there must be some approval for the work from the institutional research board. It should be highly desirable to give a schematic diagram of experimental design and your classic and contemporary methods. And if we are using any kind of cell lines, it must be clearly defined. The chemicals, their IUPAC conventions and IUPAC IUB for the biochemical nomenclature. If animals or insect or worm species are used, so their accepted taxonomical nomenclature, which should be in italics, must be mentioned. The units of measure must be in International System of Units, SI units. Procedures must be clear enough for others to reproduce. They must be brief and cite references to the earlier work when same procedure is used or adopted. Controls or replicates the biological and methodological. Then statistical method, the appropriate method must be used, and even you can use the professional support for these statistical methods. If working with the cell lines, their identity and authentication, mention the source, and last authentication. It collects database of curves contamination or contaminated or misidentified cell lines. So other information, whatever the information is related to your materials and methods, it must be approved, and those approved the uh, from where you have get approved, it must be mentioned in the materials and methods. Now, whatever the work has been done, we have mentioned the hypothesis. Here, the materials and methods have been discussed. Now, the results, whatever the results you have found, so they must be presented in the same sequence as your flow of the work is there. So, the basic data and the derived information with the image and magnifications, bivariate plots and frequency distribution plots are there. It must be there histogramically. Then table or graph, then the labels, how you have to axis are there, x-axis, or you have to define it very well properly. Figure legend, heading of table, combining figures, so they must be properly presented. Experimental data, whatever the data we have obtained, so data is the truth and the central component of the research, so do not tamper with it. Store all modifications made to the original data, then use some same parameters for acquisition of data from the machines or the images or from the any instruments. Then annotate and preserve the original data, which could be required for any kind of auditing purpose. Then link the data from machines to analysis software wherever it is possible. Then comes discussion. Discussion is totally based upon the whatever you have found in whatever you have set in the hypothesis, so it must be interpreted accordingly with reference to this. So highlight the importance or impact of the work in the discussion part. Venture to speculate the future course based on your work. So how your research could be fruitful for the future scientific future work related to that in the same streamline. Avoid restating of the results, like if you are repeating the same results in the discussion and again the same language is being used, so avoid these things in the discussion part. Bring out the new knowledge from your results and existing knowledge. Now, how to succeed in getting your manuscript published? So this is passion for research, excellent idea, elegant experiments, excellent analysis of data are essential, but not sufficient for getting your work published. What is more important? That is the impactful presentation of the work with clarity is the key for getting your work published. So manuscripts should try to make the job of an editor and reviewer easy. So you need to sell your paper. Means it should be reached to the most of the people with the confidence, comprehension, and conviction. Now the stages to where how the manuscript is getting published. So before publishing, it has to be passed to the three stages before the acceptance. That is the editorial phase, then peer reviewer, then post review approval by the editorial board or their representative. So the submission letter is the most important one. So it should be there. There are various problems with the manuscript, particularly from the non-native English speaking, the inadequate presentation of the data, lack of clarity, grammar and writing quality, inconsistency, then improper structuring is there, and the most important is the plagiarism, language is there, misconduct. So these factors must be kept in mind while writing the manuscript, which could be minimized or it should not be there. So the 6 Cs for scientific writing, that is, it should be simple, short, structured, sequential, strong, and specific. Then comes for after the revision, after the review from the peer review. So the manuscript will come for the revision. So the revision of the manuscript to the satisfaction of the reviewers and editor, that is very necessary. So before reviewing it, so consult your co-authors and colleagues the address comments. Discuss them properly because they have been given their work to your the manuscript. So all comments should be addressed in whole. There must be the polite response even when you disagree with the comments and suggestions. Citation of the reference, supplementary unpublished data to support of your arguments. Ensure that changes made based on the review suggestion are clearly indicated. Resubmit promptly. So responding completely polite with evidence. And successful handling of comments from the reviewers and editors. So never argue every comment or any comment in a rebuttal. Do not ignore the minor suggestions. A negative comments is not a personal attack on authors. Neutral look and objective perspective will help you address the issues and avoid the phrases like we completely disagree in rebuttal letter. Answer critical comments respectfully. Provide access to the original or the raw data whenever it is being asked by the reviewer. So these are the some useful resources of the information. Uh, Thank you for your kind listening and attention. Thank you so much.
So, thank you, Professor Anjana ma'am, for delivering wonderful talk. For some of the session, I invite our director, sir. Please, sir.
So thank you very much, madam. And I know that how this is important and ethics and values is required to the maintain throughout the research system. So that is why the information and the technical concept and technical utility given by the doctor. So I hope that this lecture will be very, very beneficial to each and everybody. And you have given lot of information related to the how we can maintain the writing manuscript. And I hope that this will be the useful each and everybody. So from core of my heart, I am thankful Professor Dr. Anjana Sharma ji for accepting the invitation and provide the opportunity to all the listener. And I hope that this will be the very, very useful in the future. So thank you very much, Dr. Anjana ji, and I hope that in the coming days we can also provide some of the this types of the video to the YouTube channel, so person they will be the connect with you. And if I have some of the more information from your side, from my team of the IQAC, it will be the connect to you. So I hope that you can reply accordingly. So thank you very much. Thank you all the listener. Dr. Nitinji, he is the very dedicated person in the department of the pharmaceutics and doing the good job. And I am thankful to our management to provide this opportunity to involve the some of the scientists in the dialogue series. So thank you, Dr. Preeti ji, for provide this opportunity to interact and
Thank
involve
you,
in
sir.
this lecture. Thank you very much, and thanks to all.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. I will be grateful
Thank you very
for
much.
this
Thank you.
further.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.